Now, making marriage great requires us, as I keep saying, to choose the right partner in the first place. That would eliminate so many future problems. And I guess so. And you see, the easier something is, the longer it will last. Isn't that right? Try how many heavy boxes can you pick up in a day versus how many light boxes you can pick up in a day. And also, just like the easier the job is, the longer you can keep on doing it, versus the harder and the more stressful the job is, well, you're likely to quit pretty soon, won't you? You will not, one, you can't keep it up, and secondly, you are not going to enjoy it, and so you're going to want an out. The more difficult it is, the quicker the out that you want. Okay? So this is the thing, people come out of bad relationships and particularly bad and messy divorces. They either then blame the marriage itself, say marriage as an institution is terrible, it brings me nothing but grief and so forth, and look at how much money I had to shell out, not only the financial costs, which has just wiped me of everything, but the emotional toll as well. That's something that you regularly hear from usually men that have lost everything in a divorce and become quite bitter about it. Or they, besides blaming marriage itself, or they would blame their partners or former partners for not doing this or being that, For example, she was so selfish, or he did not help with anything around the house. I had to do it all by myself, and that's why the marriage went down, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. But the one thing is, all these people that complain about their former partners, particularly, they didn't do this or that, or were selfish and so forth. Have you ever stopped to think, though, before you married them, did you actually check to make sure that they have those qualities, or they can do all the stuff that you say that they didn't do during the marriage? I suspect a lot of people, more than 99% of people, did not. You see, if you do not check for something first before you acquire it, can you then blame that person? Or that whatever it is. Like, you might buy a regular car, okay, because you wanted to go up to the mountains and bushwalking and all that, and you bought a little, what do you call it, a little hatchback or a little sports car, and then find out that it doesn't go through the terrain. It just can't make it. So do you blame the car then for not being able to do that? Or should you really be blaming yourself by not considering first what you needed before you went out and to purchase a vehicle for that? Okay, you might have just bought that car because you like the look of it. That's not enough, is it? So it's just your fault. It's just like, you say, you wanted just a little dog that'd be a companion for you, and go to sleep, be easy maintenance. But then, without you really considering the breed, you went out and got a high energy dog because it looked cute in the window. And then, because you don't have enough time for it to spend to give it all the energy, all the exercise and activity that it needs, because it's such a smart and active dog. For instance, if you've got a border collie or help, a Belgian Malinois, it's too much dog for most people. You're not able to provide all the activity that dog needs. And so what does it do? It goes and finds its own entertainment. And it'll be the entertainment that they want to do and not particularly what you'd like them to do. It's a nicer way of saying they'll mess up your house or tear things up. So then who do you blame? You cannot blame the dog then, because that's a nature. You didn't consider it yourself first, what you really need, and then found appropriate breed, a low energy dog that just wants to lie there and occasionally have a walk. Okay? You cannot blame that. And we do that for everything, just like we have a certain needs for a particular house we're going to buy. It needs to be close to where you work or so forth and so forth, have some action, but you happen to buy it in another location because you like the views, and then it becomes totally inconvenient for you. You can't blame the house. Yeah, you have to take some responsibility for making bad choices, for not choosing first, not really thinking about what is it you actually need before you went out to purchase. It's just the same thing with a partner. You get what you choose. If you do not choose or assess for certain qualities, then you cannot complain that your partner doesn't perform the tasks or what you want them to do or expect them to do. You can never assume, because you don't with anything else, do you? Why do you deal with this? You don't consider with the most important decision of your life. Someone that you're going to have to spend basically 24/7 with, unless you go out. I should say you're going to be partnered with 24/7. Live with each other. What they do affects you as well. And as a partnership, you just because you like them and you seem to get on well, and then later on you complain that they don't cook, for instance, and you end up having to do all the cooking because they either can't or don't want to do it. So it'll be a lifetime of you cooking and then and takeaways, basically. And can you complain then? Because you did not check that beforehand. Then you cannot complain that they didn't do any cooking during the marriage. Or complain then that they were hopeless around the house. Or, he couldn't even change a tire. Or he could not, did not have any handyman skills. You had to hire people for this and that and so forth and take control. Well, you did not check in for that, did you? If that's what you wanted, someone to or do some house maintenance, or that's what you expect, you have to check for that. Otherwise, you cannot complain if your partner doesn't do it. Or if your partner ends up being totally messy, so you end up with a messy house. You either leave it like that, or you're the one that will going to have to do all the cleaning up all the time. Then you can't expect them to be suddenly clean. And then can you really complain then? You check beforehand, or even knowingly that they were untidy. And then seemingly be surprised when you live with them and the house is a mess. Oh, come on. What did you expect? You did not think things through. Then you cannot complain. I know it sounds very clinical because people are viewing marriage and relationships as something with the heart. Yes, it does. You actually have to love the person, but that is not enough. Just general feelings, because feelings and love have to be continually supported. Otherwise, it dies.